Welcome to Houston, Texas, the Family YMCA. My name is Dave Vincent alongside John Bike. Here it is, the round of 16 at the WPH Race for 8. David Fink up against what he calls is his nemesis, Martin Mulkerrins. Even though they've never had an official recording of playing each other in one of these pro stops, John, Dave still believes it's one of his bigger rivals because they did a tour here in Texas a few months back and had to play each other on multiple days, and he felt we've created a rivalry. I've won one, he's won one, and he feels that Martin Mulkerrins is the full package, the real deal.
Martin early on certainly has some big wins to his credit. He's beaten Charlie Shanks, Robbie McCarthy, among others, and yeah, this is probably a bit more of the draw than David wanted in an opening round.
In fact, I think Dave Fink got one of the toughest draws if he were to go past Martin, which is going to be a huge task. He is going to face either Robbie McCarthy or Andy Nett, and then it could be Luis Moreno up there. So you could be Martin Mulkerrins, Robbie McCarthy, Luis Moreno if the seeds held true. And that play there, John, was definitely a screen.
I thought it was, and you know, because, I mean, Martin never says anything. They're trained that way over there, but so yeah, it had to really stand out for him to even acknowledge it. With authority right there, David Fink.
That was a beautiful shot right there from David Fink. You're watching the GoPro camera from high above the back wall here. And one of the reasons why we have to film from this location is because they have these white dots on the back wall. And our camera has fits. Also puts me into a seizure. And there's that great camera angle there from operator Linda Manning. Our director Chris Grad back in the fun van, the fun bus.
Interesting background information. The format, there's been another minor format change. They're always tweaking, trying to seek perfection, and they're back to where the pros are playing one match to the next day and a one-day final. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Which is really the ideal way for the main draw, but it means the qualifiers are in their third match of the day. So some qualifiers weren't too happy about that.
Qualifiers don't like the 3 matches in one day. Those that get that rest on Saturday like it. It's tough, John. The older you get, tougher it definitely is. Dave Fink there now in his later 30s. One of the guys that probably doesn't like that, wouldn't like that format if he were in the qualifiers.
And just a strong enough qualifier, you can't just say, well, just handle your business in the qualifier, because there were a lot of great players. Tough sledding to get through there.
3, serve 0.
Well, we had 9-time national champion David Chapman playing Martin Mulkerrins, who is the national finalist this year in a qualifier final.
Yeah, so then that speaks to the depth of this draw, and I mean, human variance, but our national finalist also took second place in his qualifying division here at the WPH event.
This is a long extended rally here. Dave trying to keep it alive. Martin pounding him back to that right corner. Dave Fink, strong lefty.
Serves 3.
A lot of players feel he has a weakness over there on the right, that they keep hitting the balls over there, but he is a very good defensive player with his right hand, like you were, John. Like you are, I should say.
Slip up there. Yeah, I always, when I was competing with David, my go-to serve with him was hard down the left. I thought his right side defense was pretty solid.
3, serve 0.
That was a beautiful kill shot there from Dave. Puts him back into the box at 3-0. 1 game match 25, win by 2, halftime at 15.
Solid Z right there. Boy, if a lefty can really lock in on that Z, it can be such a weapon. It just comes straight off that third wall with the lefty natural.
4, serve 0.
Kind of surprised Dave changed that serve.
It's common. The guy hits a perfect Z, but he's locked into the mindset. That's, well, I got my second serve ready. It also does work as a first serve.
5,
you do have that option.
Short ball.
Here probably comes a perfect Z right now.
Second serve.
Just caught the back wall that time.
That's an overhit. Martin should put this away. 2-wall pass, misses that second wall though.
Another one. He was just waiting for the better shot.
Martin Mulkerrins coming in from Ireland. Actually, he got here about 4 days ago, like the Irish do. They want to acclimate themselves. He's now living back in Ireland.
Now, was in their Texas swing, was one of their matches on this court?
Yes, exact court. And then they played one over in Texas A&M as well. Now on this court, Dave Fink was up fairly big, and Martin battled back and defeated him right at the last second there, 25-23 or 26-24, as they had that win by 2 format. And then in Texas, Dave just manhandled Martin on a payback match. But Dave knows how strong Martin Mulkerrins is. 5-1 score.
What time of the year was that tour? Because Martin was here from after Nationals till just the holidays.
Yeah, I believe it was. It was in September.
At that time, the A&M influence hadn't really set into Martin's game.
6 serves 1.
Still riding his high from the Irish training. Beautiful serve there.
That was a nice little slider from Dave Fink.
Timeout? Okay.
And a timeout called from Martin Mulkerrins, and a round of applause from the crowd here in Houston, Texas. And you can see a little angle there of the crowd viewing in. John, coming back home to Texas, how is it an important thing that you do, or is it something that you just circle on the calendar, say, you know, I just want to go back there because I have so many friends and what, you know, extended family?
Yeah, it's well, the combination of the two. Yeah, I was so excited to come here last year, because I really hadn't been here for quite a while, and I had so much fun that I wasn't going to miss it this year. I mean, I'm pretty much looking forward to every single thing except having to play a little ball. I don't know what's going to happen there.
It's a good position to be in when you are happier just to be in the state than you are to be in the court playing.
Well, I'll give it a go, but like I say, it's just a lot of good memories here, and maybe create some new ones.
We're back into play here after that timeout. I thought Dave overhit that ball, but he hit enough walls to make it a little bit more effective, and then gets that set up there at the end.
8 serves 1.
David did something
Screen ball.
a little out of the norm. He brought me on the court with him for about 10 minutes before the match, a more intense warm-up and a good confidence builder for him. He was teeing off on the ball and kind of playing like this. He's just got himself in a great rhythm. Yep.
And a little skip there at the end. Did you see that?
He's feeling it, no doubt.
Yeah, I saw you on the court with Dave, and I was going to ask you some questions about that.
9 serves 1.
I mean, certainly you guys are playing at half speed, but it looked like Dave was a little bit more intense than half speed.
Yeah, well, my full speed is now half. Presents the illusion of going half speed. But no, I was just there for him. I think that's a great idea to get yourself a little bit of intensity before the match.
I mean, how many times, and I'm sure it's happened before, that you get out of a match, and about 10 minutes later you're going, I'd like to play right now. This is where I feel like I really want to play.
Let's get the juices for sure. Get the juices flowing, and
I think you're right. It
served him well to this point.
9 serves 1.
9-1. Martin Mulkerrins was manhandled earlier today by Dave Chapman. Dave had a large lead throughout that match. Eventually ended at 25-9. Some people might say, well, that's really not a manhandling, but if you saw some of these rally enders that Dave Chapman put on Martin Mulkerrins.
10 serves 1.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing David play again.
Short ball.
And Martin, we were speculating at his age, did he even know much about David Chapman? But on his bio sheet here, he has listed David as one of the players he enjoyed watching. So probably
second serve.
Videotape, probably not live before.
He also mentioned that Tony Healy was on that list of favorite players to watch. And of course, Paul Brady's on that list, and then Diarmuid Nash comes up on that list. They're best friends, however. That would be like me saying that my favorite player to watch is Dave Fink.
Did you fill one of these out?
I didn't fill one out. I didn't even know this existed until I saw this bio sheet. I absolutely love it, by the way, but if I did fill it out, I would have to put Dave Fink's name on there. And if I didn't, he would edit it.
12 serves 1.
12 to 1.
12 now. He's absolutely on a roll.
Well, Dave's playing pretty much flawless handball and very aggressive. Dave has also been working on his right-hand back wall kill shots. And he said that he's made a change in his swing and is very happy with the outcome of what he's been working on back home.
That's what the great ones do. They're like LeBron James, always trying to add something new to their games. James, Durant, Fink, always trying to get better.
When we asked Dave what his favorite or best tournament was.
Second timeout?
Well, the first timeout was Martin Mulkerrins, but he might have taken a second before that 15-minute break.
I think David might have just scored his 13th point, and well, maybe it's not just of what something was on the floor.
Right,
no
13 serves 1.
When we asked Dave Fink what his favorite tournament was, he said New York 2009. That's a great serve there. New York Athletic Club 2009.
That one just simply goes down in the books, in the Fink books, as the win.
Yeah, I believe he
14 serves 1.
The one that he defeated Sean Lenning and then Dave Chapman.
A good tournament right there. I did that once, but they were both about 14 years old.
Well, I know one of them had to have been.
Martin just not quite on track.
Wow.
You guys are playing on top of each other, otherwise I'd be calling everything, man. I thought you had plenty of room for that.
What'd you think about that? I thought it was a
One
borderline.
serves
I didn't think it
14.
was as obvious as the
Well,
other one.
Let's see if it's obvious in slow motion.
I think I think the thing he didn't like has already happened.
Right there, I believe, is what Dave feels.
Second serve.
I agree with that. You can't tell when he's throwing his arms up if it's one of his shots or a call or something he just thought about from home. But you will see him throw those two arms up a lot often.
He does throw his arms up, and sometimes you wonder what it means, but that's just what he does. I don't think Dave even knows he does it, to be honest.
Both players know that this is could be an important time. You don't want Martin feeling anything going into the halftime.
3 serves 14.
We're at 3-14 now. He's striking the ball a little more crisply.
Nice little hop right there on that serve from Martin, who just is blasting the ball right now. Dave's could only just paddle balls back. And there's a timeout from Mr. Fink.
There's timeout. All right.
This is a one-game match to 25. It is the round of 16 here at the Race for 8 in Houston, Texas. We're in season number 3. It's a $200,000 season, matter of fact, and the winner of that Players' Championship in Salt Lake City, $20,000 for first place.
That's outstanding. Yeah, they say a player could really, it's more than a supplement to your income if you're really on top of things this year. It could be a primary source.
Well, talking to Sean Lenning, he moved back to Tucson to get into the training, and he's hitting the gym 2 times a day. And when asking him, you know, are you doing this for Houston? He said, no, I'm doing this for Salt Lake City. I'm already in Salt Lake City. Houston, no matter what I do, I'm still in Salt Lake City. So I'm just going to go there and try to get that 20,000. I want 20 grand. So that could be dangerous when
exactly the intent the founding fathers had when putting this together. It's good to hear. Luis certainly looks like he's primed. They've brought over Brady and McCarthy. Brady's still a rumor at this point, but
looks like Brady is going to attend Denver and New York. And Robbie McCarthy's going to hit New York, and he's hoping he can get into the Salt Lake City championships just off of 2 good showings, and maybe 3 if he has to.
What's the projected number of points needed this year?
All right,
halftime.
boys, you got 3 minutes.
Well, as we take a 3-minute timeout here for that halftime, Fink leads Martin Mulkerrins by the score of 15-4. It's a 3-minute break that is coming at you no matter what happens. Even the players disagree and they just want to keep playing, it's still going to take place. But the projected points of getting into Salt Lake City, I believe Dave Fink said 14, between 12 and 14 points would probably assure that you would get into Salt Lake. Now, I might be wrong on those numbers. I'm not looking at the rankings right now. But a semifinal appearance or a third place and a finals appearance would probably get you into Salt Lake City. So let's say Robbie McCarthy takes first here and third in New York, or third and first, or even third and second.
First would be huge.
I think that would get him right there where he's knocking on the door.
So Brady, you're pretty much counting on 2 wins or 2 if you're only going to come to 2 of them, but I guess he's entitled to plan that way.
Yeah.
Until someone actually beats him over here.
Well, Brady lifetime in race play 7-0. Robbie McCarthy is 4-0 in race play, not counting what happened earlier today when he's pretty much manhandled the field so far.
Is that going to be the go-to word this year?
We're going to use manhandled a few times
here. Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back in, let's say, about a minute or so as we have the conclusion of this match, Dave Fink versus Martin Mulkerrins. For John Bike, Dave Vincent, we'll be back in just a bit. Stick with us here at racefor8.com. 1 minute.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Back into the action here in Houston, opening rally of the second half as Dave Fink and Martin are back into the court here. And you can see a little bit of emotion here from Martin, who
4 serves 15.
Got that side out. 4-15 is the score.
Score ball.
Martin has a lot of wrinkle on his serves.
Second serve.
You know, John,
look at David unloading that. He's feeling it.
I can't speak for you, but there's a time as a guy that you're so passionate about the sport of handball.
15 serves 4.
And the legacy of just how the sport is.
Great serve.
When you look at a guy like Martin Mulkerrins and you say, hey, he was just a heartbeat away from being a national champion. And then after meeting him and talking to him, do you say, hey, there are some new kids that are on the block that are playing, like Derman Nash and Martin Mulkerrins, that you don't feel bad if they actually win a national championship. You know how you want to preserve the game and you want to make sure the person that wins it is, you know.
And who's going to be in the club.
Yeah, who's going to be in the club.
I like David's intensity here. He's not letting up at all. 17-4. Still laying it all out there. Yeah, absolutely. A great character person. But boy, there's just so many good young ones now, and there's only one title per year.
5 serves 17.
Sign of respect for his opponent that David is still so focused. He certainly does not believe this match is in hand.
Boy, that ball just tricked Dave as it slid down that left wall.
That's quite a natural for an offhand right there, to sting the ball like that and straighten it out down the wall.
6 serves 17.
With the offhand.
Yeah, these guys are so good. Oftentimes you can't tell what is and what isn't.
There goes the hands up. He left his kill up a little. Yeah, especially when they have time to step into the ball. It's
7 serves 17.
Swings are practically mirror images. Put that one away, and he does.
Now these are paneled walls, not concrete, and so you're hearing this ball splat against the front wall, and it sounds a little bit more dangerous But then when you get on the court and play against Martin or Dave, you find out they actually are hard hitters. Martin possibly hitting the ball harder than Dave, but he cranks out some serious miles per hour on that handball. And John, you haven't been able to play with him, against him in any tournaments.
All right, David, you're serving.
But I know you've watched him play.
17 serves.
He's
7.
got the full package.
Oh yeah, very tough. Yep. Certainly the ability to manhandle anyone if he's on his game. But Fink with that first strike repeatedly,
18,
just
serve
making
7.
the first ball he swings at most of the time.
That ball could have been called short, was it?
And he does it again. He's going to appeal.
That's all the serve good.
Dave tells Martin you can't appeal
good.
that. That's the best shot of the
19
day.
serve 7.
David definitely being David right now, very comfortable.
Very focused, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that's comfortable for David. Dave Fink and I play at the same club. We live 3 doors away from each other, but we do not play handball against each other, oddly enough.
Any chance of getting an interview with the people in the households between your 2 houses? I'd really like to hear what they experience life through their eyes for a day.
They're interesting people.
Well, I was more concerned with their impressions of their interesting neighbors. Yes.
Yeah.
7 serves 19.
7-19 score here as Martin Mulkerrins trying to get something back after that loss earlier today against Dave Chapman. Dave Fink does a crazy
I love the double
3-wall shot there.
The only thing that would have been better there is an actual hand clasp. I like the fists in the air is good, but if you actually clasp the hands together while you're doing it, that's when you know you're.
Short ball.
Yeah, he hasn't fully embraced
Second
that
serve.
above the head, congratulating yourself.
They're pretty tough Z, off by a foot or so, but.
You know, Dave's first strikes with his right hand have been pretty good, John.
Yeah.
A lot of players that are serve with their left or right, and then you turn around and take your first strike with your opposite hand. They don't feel comfortable. Dave really does.
Yeah, he's in a nice groove right now.
Second timeout.
And there is timeout number 2 from Martin Mulkerrins from a little town in County Galway called Mulkerrins.
I'm not familiar with it. It says he did get started in his first and his only coach ever he lists as his dad, and with all the available coaching there in Ireland, I'd like to meet that man. He's doing a pretty good job.
He feels that the best tournament ever, Martin Mulkerrins, was the World Championships. The best tournament that he's ever won, I should say. World Championships, where he got that 17 and under singles and the All-Ireland Intermediate singles. Martin Mulkerrins on the court with David Fink from Tucson, Arizona via Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My name is Dave Vincent. We're standing right here next to the legend, John Bike, who spent a few years in Texas. How many years in Texas were you before you made that move out west to the high desert and kind of carved your name with the USHA as an employee there and also on the pro tour?
It was the 4 years of college, 1 year in Northern Cal, and then 2 back in Austin out of college, and then finally further west. So 6 years total.
And I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but out of all the places
probably gonna
you've
put me
been,
on the spot right now.
that's what normally happens when you say you aren't gonna put somebody on the spot. Out of all the places you've been, I know you love your place now in Hesperia in California. Where's the best location for handball? For the fans, the people to hang with,
oh boy.
You've been around a lot of these
I'm going back 20 years, but boy, did we have a unique situation in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That was, it was the handball club had their own liquor license. So and a bar overlooking the main court, and that was a lot of good people. Those are good memories. But yeah, I got something special in my heart about every place I've been.
Dave Fink back into the service box here.
20, serve 7.
It just sounds like that ball's breaking, but it's Those panel walls. Martin keeps that ball up. He dives for it, but then just gives Dave a complete setup, and he puts it away with his right hand. Now 21-7.
Yeah, David, that's definitely not the textbook percentage shot, but he hit it low enough that Martin could not re-kill it. It was all he could to get his hand on the ball.
Short ball.
And the gamble pays off. He gambled and won.
Second serve.
Another effect. See, Martin got behind it though. Once again, shooting with Martin in front of him, and it looks like he's paid the price that time. But David's you can't fault him. He's feeling it.
Well, we asked Martin
Serves
how
21.
he could describe his game as he serves here at 7-21, and he said that he thinks he's a mixture of both shooter and defensive, and he tries his best to play the right shot at the right time. That's what he feels his game is like. You can kind of see a little resemblance of Tony Healy here with Martin, as he can play that defensive game, but also very aggressive offensive style. Maybe ground and pound, but also methodical.
Yeah, I would say that out
21 serves 7.
That'd be the closest similarity, I would say. If I had to name one person for Martin, I would also go with Tony Healy.
There are some times when he sets up for a ball off the back wall, you could almost see a Paul Brady setup there. But Tony Healy just, I think a lot of Irish youngsters kind of pattern themselves around Tony Healy.
An uncharacteristic hand error there. He's got to just forget that. He's missed very few thus far. But got the weak return off of another beautiful Z, but that time he didn't nail it. Looking over David's bio here, and the time to describe your game, it's
very interesting.
Surprisingly, he's gone negative on himself. This is a time to. I mean, he's the victim of his own something. So
well, Dave says, in that same question we asked Martin about, you know, how do you describe your game? He said that he tries to play the right shots at the right times, but has a tendency to play one-dimensionally when pressed, which is an interesting line to say, because you know your foes are reading this. But the tougher thing is to try to press Dave, because he's very hard. He's always putting the pressure on. As you can see, he's dictating the action here with Martin. Dave extending, pushing Martin back. He also says that he plays the best when the game comes to him, and he tends to force shots when being, you know, in uncomfortable situations on the court, and feels sometimes often rushed. That's why he feels that he needs to let the game come to him so he can play within that, and I think that's a smart answer. You see Nadi Alvarado similarly, when he lets the game come to him, he and relaxes. 21. He's explosive.
yeah, it all seems to flow better. The timing and all when you're not pressing. No doubt about that.
And not to be that guy, but I'm going to be.
I'm going to be that guy. That was my line. I was supposed to jump over that. Fink just undeterred.
Man. And Fink calling a timeout after that.
I like that call. I'm sorry. He had about 7 or 8 opportunities in a row that he left just high enough in the last few rallies that Martin got them back and won the rally. Now he flattened one, then goes out to think about it.
Well, I think he's tired here. Let's look at that. Let's look at that replay brought to you by First Star.
I'm sorry I stepped on that guy.
Well, no, you know, you're talking about, I was going to say, most players do want to play within themselves and also let the game come to them. It kind of sounds cliche-ish, but then you look at Sean Lenning and you believe that chaos actually makes that a little bit better for him. I mean, it almost seems like he goes to the game instead of the game coming to him.
Yeah.
So I don't think every player has the same philosophy of letting the game come to them, especially if your last name is a Lenning.
Yeah, I guess everyone's got to find what's best for them. I was similar to my situation, that people would say, well, be more patient, rally more. And I'm just, in every sport I've ever played, I'm just not real accurate.
20 more seconds.
I mean, for some people, it's best to just get things quickly. The longer you're in there, the more likely you are to end up being the one to make the error. Sean might be a little bit that way.
When asking Martin which one of the Race for 8 pros you'd like to play, his response was Luis Moreno.
How about that?
That's interesting. Wow, that's a nice left-handed corner kill from Dave Fink, formerly of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, now Tucson, Arizona.
22 serves 9.
Dave Fink now at
Short ball.
3 points away from advancing, taking down Martin Mulkerrins.
And David right back at him said, "Oh yeah, well I want to play Brady."
Second
He
serve.
did. He says because he's the best I've ever seen. He says that. And then he mentioned Cordova. I guess he plays well against Cordova.
It's a pretty good record. That's a huge setup there. Dave
Flat.
pounds that ball down the left wall.
Well, I'm thinking he's going to be expecting another warm-up game early tomorrow morning. I better crank it up.
Coming up right after this one,
23
5
serves
o'clock
9.
Central Time will be going to be a
Four
fun
ball.
match. That was short. David Chapman versus Emmett Pichot.
Well, you got two big ones at 5. Isn't
Second
Alvarado
serve.
and Chavez the other one?
Alvarado and Chavez, yes. We were informed, I should say, that taking the Chapman-Pichot match could easily go over to that Naughty Alvarado one. 24-9 score here. Dave serving to take the match and advance to the round of 8. Dave playing pretty flawless ball here. Well,
That's the announcer's
that's the
curse.
biggest flaw.
Now you've hit the big time.
9
Yeah,
serves
very few
24.
very few unforced errors. But now that you mention it, I would say go for Alvarado and Chavez just to keep that. I just enjoyed so much
10
the
serves
reaction when
24.
Chapman and Pichot's doubles match was not put on.
Yeah.
When they were relegated to a backcourt because we had those long, drawn-out 21-21-11
serves
matches in the main court. We did not get to show as many people as we would have liked to.
That's right.
And they were one of the great deserving teams that got left out for that one day. Could be it. Nope. Keeps it in play. Oh, he's not certain.
I like that 2-wall pass right there
shot.
from Dave Fink. Pushes Martin out. He gets back into the box. Very smart.
24 serves 11. Short ball.
Is that 2-wall pass, John, a conscious effort that you make on the court, or is
Second
it just natural for some of these guys just to take that wide shot? I mean, I find it hard to think about doing it at the right times, but you see these guys hit it so effectively when they do hit it.
Nice of David to miss that to let us explore that topic.
11 serves 24.
To me, it was always the instinctive bailout shot when I'm in trouble or on defense. And then as I got better positioning or closer in the court, then it became a real precise weapon that you're specifically trying to bang it off that wall hard and win the point.
I just think for a lot of players, I've heard them say, I do it defensively and don't know how to do it offensively. And maybe it's just a phase you go through until you learn how to do it. Boy, and Martin, he pushed his way up there, but just didn't get his hand on the ball quite cleanly. Comes away with a side out after scoring that point. The score should say on the scoreboard 11 for Martin Mulkerrins, as Dave now serving to win the match again, 24-11.
David, interesting, not counting the default due to his hospitalization, is undefeated in race for 8 play since the founding of the club.
Yeah.
And I pointed that out to him. He seemed to be a bit in the doldrums,
All right, possible match.
questioning a little bit of self-doubt during the week.
Serves
And
11.
hey, the guy I saw just won the best rally of all time and hasn't lost.
Wow.
Excellent effort.
He tripped about 20 feet back, and Dave is now calling for a towel. That was a very interesting trip and fall. He was struggling to try to get his feet underneath him so he can flip that ball off the back wall. Watch what happens here during this rally. Dave makes a great get here, but pulls a Martin and goes to that corner.
Oh, yeah.
Dave went into the pre-dive a little early, unable to get it. Martin back into the box. This is the Race for 8 season number 3, stop number 3 in Houston.
Now, he has enough of a cushion not to be worried about that, but that was a phenomenal save at match point for Martin. That was almost a crack serve. Martin, all he could do to get his hand on it, and he shoveled it almost a low corner kill.
Right.
All right, 11 serves 24.
Boy, he's going to have to shorten his name or broaden his shoulders a little. That shirt pretty much takes up all of it.
Serves 24.
Was it intentional that the latest batch of shirts, which I did absolutely love, was it after hair color? Because I see all these guys have black and we have gray.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The older guys got the gray and
24.
the young guys have black. The brunettes and the gray hairs.
That's all good.
Now Martin scored another point at 14-24. Dave has had plenty of opportunities
14 serves 24.
with 4 chances to win this match. That was smart.
Oof,
that was a
powerful.
power punch. Dive up front, and we've both been in that situation before where you say, I'm going to dive for this, but I have too much speed coming at this to hit a little soft paddle, so I'm just going to try to hit as hard as I can. And there he goes with that aggressive push down the right wall. And Dave now back into the box, 5th time serving to win the match.
All right. 24 serves 14.
Oh, and he misses that left.
Skipped it in.
That left kill shot.
14 serves 24.
And Dave hits that just perfect on the front wall at just a hair lower, and that ball skips.
All right, 24 serves 14. Short ball. Second serve.
That might be perfect. Nope, ball came out. Yes, it is. Dave gets that win and defeats Martin Mulkerrins here and advances to the quarterfinals. And you hear the claps here from the crowd as Dave Fink and one of his close friends, they are really good friends, Dave Fink and Martin Mulkerrins, exit the court here in a round of applause, and Dave actually waving to the crowd, which is also good to see. Maybe writing that bio and getting some pep talks from you were good for Dave's game. This is the round of 16 coming up next. It's going to be a coin flip to figure out who we're going to put on. Is it Dave Chapman and Emmett Peixote, or will it be Marco Chavez and Nadi Alvarado?
We should open up the voting on Facebook.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to have to be a Facebook vote. Might have to tweet it to WPH, hashtag WPH Live. Give us your vote. Is it Nadi and Marcos?
And oh my gosh, it's 75-20 in just 5 seconds it's been open. 75 votes for Alvarado already. But
Marcos and Nadi, or is it Chapman and Peixote? Twitter, hashtag WPH Live. It is the Race for 8, Houston, Texas, YMCA. We'll have more handball action in about 20 minutes. You stick around. John Bike. My name is Dave Vincent. You stay with us here at racefor8.com.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.